Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another 1T Hockey podcast. I'm your host, Martin. Today's co host, Steven.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome again. And we got a fascinating episode for you guys. We have a few topics. We're going to be revisiting one from last week. So make sure you stay subscribed and like the video. Keep on them. Keep on us. We'll have one every week. So we'll try to be consistent, guys. So motivation is key. We're seeing a lot of good stuff already. But yeah, we'll just keep grinding and let's build this fan base up. There
Yeah,
we go.
perfect.
Yeah. So, Steven, a little recap. Uh, Last week we talked about Bob Murray. He was placed on administrative leave.
hmm
And what was the reasons why he was placed on administrative leave?
Well, actually, it was the day after we recorded that episode is when the news came out that he was resigning due to I guess he had like an alcohol abuse
I don't think he was.
problem.
No, I don't think he was
Oh no,
relieved. He was relieved from
no,
his job.
it says
He
he
was
resigned.
he was placed on administrative leave.
Yeah,
So that means
okay, I don't know. The
you would
Athletic
have to
article that
be.
I'm reading says he resigns.
That's strange because like if you get if you were placed on administrative leave, doesn't that mean that they would have to be doing the process? It's not like he was placed on administrative leave, unless if he requested to be placed on administrative leave. You know, he could have quit, but instead the organization put him on administrative leave. That's what the NHL website says.
Yeah, that was in the article from Tuesday. But if you click the link underneath
Okay,
from the Athletic, which was the next day, which is about him resigning, it even says here the NHL said in a statement that it supports Murray's decision to resign.
okay, okay.
So I think what
That's
happened
very
was
interesting because
he
well,
saw
they
what
still
happened
have
with
it.
the
They still have it up on the. So that's very interesting. It's very
well, yeah,
conflicting. That's
because
conflicting.
that's the time. No, the timeline's correct. That's what happened. First, the Ducks placed him on.
Administrative leave.
Yeah, like so the organization did that, then he probably saw like the red flags and even thought to himself like, yeah, maybe I should do something about this and just took it upon himself to resign.
Gotcha. Okay, I
So
understand.
instead of letting it just go on and linger and go for a long time, in which he was probably going to eventually resign anyways, he just kind of said, I'll get on with it. I'll resign. I'll see help for myself and yeah, do all the right things, which I mean, it's the right thing to do. I hope everything gets better for him and he can fix this problem that he has, which clearly sounds like it was, affecting work and the workplace. And, you never want to see that, especially for any sort of professional team to go through those sort of hardships. And yeah, you don't want it affecting other people. And then eventually you don't want it affecting the on ice product either, which is really where the problems will be shown to the public.
It's mainly setting an example, and at his position, he can't be doing these types of things. It's not acceptable. He needs to set a better
hmm
example, and it's good that he is seeking help. And I mean, it is due to his problem that is causing other issues, such as like the rumors of unprofessional behavior with his other
hmm
staff and whatnot is due to this. So hopefully he could come back maybe in a year or two and say he's changed his ways. I'm sure he could come back. No one's done any lawsuits. It's not like he's touched anyone or anything like that, or he's done any assault against anyone, verbal or physical. So I don't really see any avenues he can't come back unless if there's someone
Yeah,
doing a lawsuit. That's really it.
yeah, exactly. As long as, he seeks the help that he needs and he gets back and, everything goes successfully. Yeah, you're right. Maybe in a couple of years from now, he does find a job. Maybe not a GM job like he has now, but some sort of like advisor role or,
It also
yeah, like
depends what the investigation says.
that is true. Obviously, that's still going on, I would assume. I don't actually know.
I think they still are doing the investigation. I mean, they're still doing the Chicago Blackhawks investigation. The Kyle Beach one is still going. So
Yes, well,
I'm sure
because
this one, especially when there's professional conduct involved, I'm sure there's It should be lengthy, shouldn't be short.
Hmm.
After an internal review, they they said they were going to start an independent investigation until some findings they saw that it was worth it just to start just getting him away from the organization, and then he took it
Right.
upon himself to resign. So there is that aspect of his life that's changed, but we have yet to see what, like, to what extent he screwed up other people's lives and whether or not he
Yeah.
did, because at that point then it becomes a whole Kyle Beach situation, and uh, it, maybe even worse at this point, you know.
No, no, it's very, very true. You're not wrong.
Okay, so that was it for the update. Back to the modern world, present time. Dion Phaneuf retired today.
Yeah,
14 years
what a
in the
legend.
NHL. What a guy, eh?
Um, yeah, I mean, well, I mean, he was a Leaf captain, so yeah. Obviously,
You have to
you
talk
know,
about it because you're
yeah, I was
a
gonna say
neighborhood
being a
Leaf
Leaf
fan.
fan, I can kind of, I guess, like I remember, like, I still remember vividly when Brian Burke pulled the trigger on the trade for him. It was like it was late January, Sunday, like
Oh,
evening or something. It was like 4 or 5 o'clock. I remember.
wow.
Don't ask me how I remember this, but I do. And actually, I only remember it because he pulled off two major trades that day. So this was one of them. And like when you look at what it took to get Phaneuf, it really wasn't much. I think it was like he got Phaneuf and Keith Ollie, and maybe there was another guy in the deal. I can't remember, but it cost like Stajan, Jamal Mayers, Ian White. Like there wasn't really any big names, and at the
No.
time, Phaneuf was a big name.
Yeah, he was definitely regarded as a very good top four defenseman, like a Shea Weber type of player.
Yeah, like
I
he was still young. He was only like 4 years. That was only like 4 or 5 years into the league. Like he still had a lot of like I don't know. I mean, maybe he was the player he was going to be at that point, but at the time, people thought that he could have still stepped up a bit.
think he reminds me of PK Subban. Like they don't have the same play style, but in the terms of their development curve, like they both went to their
Yes.
peak and then they just staggered from there.
Yeah, they had like it was very early. They came onto the scene like bursting out and like just making a buzz, and everyone's like, "Ooh, look at this guy." And
Yep.
then yeah, you're right. Like here we are now 10 years later and it's like are they the same player that they were once? No, not at all.
Well,
But I think you know what though, even their style of the type of defenseman they are is very similar. They're both very top heavy defensemen. Like I remember when I used to see Phaneuf skate around the ice in the blue and white, like he looked like this guy that just had like a ton of upper body weight and like it looked like he like you could like just push him and like he'd lose his balance because like it just always looked like he was like on like his edge. He was like a spinning top, you know?
right.
And I see the same thing with Subban, to be honest, like very top heavy and maybe just like doesn't have that balance. Oh, I'm sure he is balanced. Obviously, they're both strong guys. They can hold their own.
Of course, yeah.
But like I don't know. I feel like if like Lucic takes a run at them, like I don't think they have a chance. I
I
think they're
think if
center of
Lucic takes a
gravity.
run against 85% of the league, they'll be
You are
going
right.
down.
Yeah, I think like Chara is one of the only guys who could take a hit from Lucic and not feel a thing.
They probably tested that during practice. Just the whole practice,
Right?
just charging at Chara, see who can knock him down. That'd be
Yeah.
fun.
But yeah, I mean, all in all, I mean, at the time, Phaneuf, he captained the Leafs back to the postseason for the first time since 2004.
There you are.
Albeit, yes, that was the collapse of 2013 in Game 7, where it was 4-1 in the third period. We all know that.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk anymore about it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, after that, it all kind of started to go downhill. And the year he got traded in 2016, you can kind of see that, like, it was coming. Like, the team was going through a change. And yeah, the change of scenery, him going to just another team, the Ottawa Senators, and just it kind of showed that the Leafs were ready to make that next step and start focusing on the future and like the age of like Phaneuf, Kessel, Lupul, and like all those guys
Bozak.
was and Reimer, yeah, Bozak. I mean, Bozak, he transitioned into like the Matthews Marner era. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. Like all those guys, like it was kind of signs that like it's that era is ending and it's time for the next step, which is where we are now. And yeah, I think Phaneuf, he played an integral part for where the Leafs are today. Without Phaneuf, the Leafs wouldn't have been the way they are.
I
Phaneuf
agree.
was on that team that finished last that drafted Matthews, so thank you, Phaneuf, for your
Thank you.
services.
God bless you. God bless you. Then he
That
went
was
on.
actually the year they traded him.
Then he went on to the LA Kings, I think. He stayed there for a while.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, I want to say he was there for like maybe a year or two. Don't really know how much playtime he got towards the end of that stint. But yeah, yeah, he's been around. I mean, 4 teams, I guess. Yeah.
I sort of want to know to what. Yeah, he finished in Los Angeles,
Hmm.
2018, 2019. So it's minus 21. Oh my. So he retired in 2019. It just took
Yes,
him
yeah,
this
that's
long
right.
to actually say he's not playing
Yeah,
anymore.
exactly. I mean, I honestly I thought he already was retired when I got that update today. I was just like, oh, okay, like it's just official now. Yeah.
Well, with all the talk of Hall of Fame in the air, it's a stupid question. But Dion Phaneuf, would you ever see him ever make it as a Leaf fan? Would you see Dion Phaneuf make it? I know it's really dumb because I don't think he will ever. But
I mean, the only thing like at the junior level, he has he has a world junior gold, at least one, maybe two. So he has that, but like his professional career when he hit the NHL, like he's made to the conference finals once with the Ottawa Senators. He's never played in a cup final, doesn't have a Stanley Cup, obviously. He maybe has a Norris. I don't know. He might have won a Norris with Calgary, or
no, he
might
didn't get
I know
no.
he was.
Uh,
No, he doesn't. I think he was nominated though, maybe.
I'm sure he
Um,
was. Yeah.
but yeah, like he doesn't have the individual accolades, the team accolades. Like he never played for an Olympic team either. He's only been to 3 world championships.
It says here two. 2004,
Oh, two.
2005. That's it.
That's the World Juniors, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
And
That's all
then
the
two
tournaments
world
he's ever been.
championships.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
So that's what I mean. Like at the junior level, yeah, he had success, but then at the pro level,
He
like
couldn't.
NHL and world championships, he doesn't. Yeah, I don't. There isn't really much to go off of there. I mean, yeah, like you said too. I mean, he finished a career minus 57, 1,300 penalty minutes, just shy of 500 points. He did play 1,000 games, so he does have a silver stick, which is good to see. I mean, he was always a serviceable defenseman, which is what you knew you were getting that from him. He could put up like 70, 80 games constantly. He wasn't really injury prone either.
Lots of penalty minutes, though, I'm seeing here.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's
Wow.
man, 1,300 penalty minutes in a career. He has.
It's
I
nuts.
mean, I'm looking here. He had his third season in the league. He had 182 penalty minutes, which was a
Slow
career
down.
high.
Slow down, buddy. Yeah, that
His
guy's
high with the
crazy.
Leafs is 144.
188 is, yeah.
He's had over 100 penalty minutes 5 times in his career. Like, yeah, I mean that
He's a
also just
very
kind of shows
bossy
you.
guy.
Yeah, well, it shows you too because he played from 2005 to 2019. It shows you kind of like how much the game has changed. That like a player like that early in his career, when the game was more catered towards like a lot of strength and not as much speed and skill as it is today, like it kind of just showed you that like a player like Phaneuf could be dominant. And it's interesting how much contrast there is now. How like if you see McDavid going 1-on-1 with him, what are you gonna do, right? Like I mean, my money's on
Of
McDavid.
course, yeah. I mean, he was never fast enough. That's
No,
one
but
thing.
even his shutdown ability, I think even in his prime at like the height of his game in like the early like 2010s around there, like yeah, I'd still take a guy
Okay.
like McDavid today over
So
Mc,
prime Dion versus Connor McDavid. you think that Connor McDavid will more likely win a confrontation than lose.
Yeah, but that's also that shouldn't be a surprise to
No.
anyone because like I mean, Phaneuf was never a
Well,
generational talent, and McDavid is a generational talent.
yeah. Although I feel he looks a lot like a Jeff Petrie, Shea Weber type of player, more defensively inclined, still capable of driving play and getting assists off of plays, which that's something that's very valuable and at the time was also very rare to see. Like you didn't really get the best of both worlds of an offensive guy and being extremely aggressive at the time. It was a thing. Scott Stevens. You've got what's his name from Philly? My lord, Probert.
Um,
Not
he
Probert. Who was the defenseman
no.
there? The tall giant there. I keep forgetting his name. And he went to Arizona to end his career.
Oh, well, you're talking about Pronger.
Yeah, why do Jesus
Oh, okay, yeah.
Probert?
I mean,
What am I saying?
I mean, they're both PR, not
Close.
far
Not.
off.
But yeah, Pronger also reminiscent of that type of player. And yeah, Hall of Fame. I don't think Dion Phaneuf makes it, but very serviceable player. 1,000 games, great career.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. I mean, congratulations to him, and cheers to making that decision. It's always tough for a player to officially say, they're hanging up their skates. I mean, they never want to admit it, but yeah, he did, and hope him all I wish him all the best in future endeavors.
He can join his wife in acting.
He very well could. I mean, I don't know if I wouldn't know if he's cut out for acting, but hey,
Could
man, you never know,
happen.
right?
Collaboration could just spark that inspiration he needs, I think. Anyways, that'll be for him to decide. Our next topic is Hall of Fame inductees of this
Mm-hmm.
weekend. Few that come up to mind. Miran Hossa is one. Any other for you? I mean,
I
there's
think
lots.
I think the biggest name of them all was Jerome McGinley.
Of
There, like I
course.
mean, can't go wrong. 600 goals, 600 assists, 1,500 games played. He's got the gold medals. Like he's got two gold medals. Two Rocket Richards, and Art Ross, a Lester B. Pearson, which nowadays is the Ted Lindsay Award. He's been nominated for the Hart. He's played for like one, two, three, four, five teams.
Yeah.
Longtime captain of the Flames. I think everyone will remember him for that. I mean, everyone will also remember him for the assist on the Crosby gold medal winning goal at the
Yes.
2010 Olympics. I mean, just there's the legendary just Crosby yelling Iggy when he's calling for the puck from him that you can hear from the TV like
Dead silence because
microphones.
everyone's focused
Yeah,
on the
oh,
game.
it's intense in
Of
there, man. Are you
course.
kidding me?
Of course.
Everyone's like on the edge of their seat, and yeah, you just hear him. Like, I mean, just iconic moments, iconic player. He's always been classy. Everything you hear about this guy from like all sorts of sources of media and like radio outlets that have been talking about again over the past week, just nothing but class and just a wonderful human being. He sounds like a really nice guy, and yeah, just kind of what you like to hear over about the hockey community, especially over the past few months and the
Yeah.
dark news that's come out.
Bring back the legends. Marion Hossa being part of Chicago Blackhawks organization and winning at that time too. Um, he was a big part of Chicago, Ottawa. Jerome McGinley, as you're saying, he's very positive, always happy guy too. You always see him
Mm-hmm.
smiling.
Yeah,
You got Ken Holland too, that also won
yeah,
or
he went in as a
got inducted.
builder.
Yeah,
I mean, makes sense. He's got this again. He's got the Stanley Cups. He has over 1,000 career regular season wins as a GM. I mean, those Detroit teams that he built, like what he was with them when their playoff streak, like yeah, he was
yeah, the
there for
heyday.
their 25-year playoff streak or
That's right.
whatever it was that they had, right? So yeah, that's well deserved of him. Doug Wilson as well. I mean, he's not a bad defender. He did win a Norris. He was very good for the Blackhawks in the 80s. I obviously we never got a chance to see him play, but from what I hear and from what my parents say, it sounds like he was he deserved to go in. He was a very good player. He's a very good GM now, so he could even go in as a builder later in his career, which I think would be interesting to see him go in twice.
Wow.
If
If he
he
does
ends
well.
up winning, yeah, if he does well. I mean, he's been with San Jose for a long time.
Yeah.
They've been competitive for a long time up until recently, but yeah, we'll see what he does. And even Kevin Lowe, I mean, again, really good defenseman. He was on those Oilers teams and the Rangers team that won in '94, so he's got 6 Stanley Cups to his
Wow.
name. Um,
He's got a
Only
hand and
84 goals
and a
though.
finger.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It looks like, yeah, I mean, he's won. I mean, yeah, again, he's got a lot of cups. I guess I can see why he's in there, but maybe when you compare it to everyone else here, it's a bit of a head scratcher. I don't know.
Well, I think you're teetering between Kevin Lowe and Doug Wilson. I think they're a perfect contrast to one another because Doug Wilson, he's got no Stanley Cups, but a very dependable rear guard defenseman. 10 plus years, you're saying very dependable defenseman for the Chicago Blackhawks and a Norris Trophy win. Whilst Lowe just won 6 Stanley Cups, no real big statistics. Just shot at 400 plus points in 1,200 games, which is pretty good. We're
Yeah,
still
he
talking
he
about
does have
defensemen here.
1,200 games. That's a lot of games too,
Yeah,
especially back in that time. Like he's got a lot of mileage. Let's put it that way.
and the
Um,
only player in Edmonton history to play 1,000 regular season games.
oh, so there we go. That was one I didn't. Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
That's very interesting. Okay, so yeah, there you go. That's something in itself there. And then, I mean, last but not least, obviously Kim St. Pierre, Canadian goaltender. She was very good again. 3-time Olympic gold medalist. 5-time World Championship gold medalist.
wow.
2-time Clarkson Cup winner. Like I know for women's hockey, like Olympic gold, World Championship, and Clarkson Cup are kind of like the trifecta. So the fact that she has multiple of all of those is insane. And yeah, she was
Those were the
again at like the
heydays too. That's
yeah.
Canadian women's hockey is Canada has been pretty much on the top for a
Oh,
hot minute.
always.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got the Americans sometimes who surprise.
No, they're always there too. It's always every time there's a final for women's hockey, it's always Canada USA, and
Yeah,
it can go either way because both teams are just
very
incredible.
talented, very talented.
Yeah. So yeah, all well deserving players to be in there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, anything else you'd like to add about this class?
Not really. No, no. It's cool to see who was inducted. We could talk about next year's Hall of Fame class. There's a lot to look at.
Yes.
I know you wanted to talk about a particular subject. So the headline is Henrik Sedin and Daniel Sedin could be the headline acts for next year's induction. I was going to say
Oh yeah.
indictment.
I
Um,
think
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say like they're like I mean first year eligible players. I think they're locks. They're the same thing as like a Hossa or a Ginla was going into this year's Hall of Fame class. It was their first year of eligibility, and I think everyone knew they were gonna get the call. And I think it's same thing for the Sedins. Even looking on here again, it brings up like Luongo and Zetterberg. I think they're both locks as well. They're
Very
again
easily.
they have all the things you need. I mean, the Sedins they don't have a cup, but they do have the regular season. They have the individual trophies. They have the stats. They have
The
oh, do they?
the uniqueness that they're twins. They were
Well,
playing
obviously,
together.
yeah.
Like I
There's that.
and they did
Yeah.
really well together in Vancouver. Um,
Well, yeah, they're legends for that
they're
team.
very they're the most legendary Vancouver Canucks for sure.
They don't have Olympics
Oh,
though.
sorry, it's actually Mark Messier. My bad. He-
What?
That's.
Oh gosh, you just pissed off any Canucks fan that's
I
listening
know,
to this.
I know.
I
Gotta make it
apologize for his
interesting.
comments.
Oh my.
One thing that does surprise me though with the Sedins, I thought they would have been on that 2006 gold medal winning Olympic team for Sweden, but they were not, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm not paying attention to the Olympics, so maybe you're onto something. I don't know.
Unless, well, I mean, because it is the Hall, it's the Hockey Hall of Fame. It's
They
not the
won in
NHL Hall of Fame.
2010. 10, and oh no, never mind. No, that's Roberto
Yeah, they
Luongo.
weren't.
My
Oh
bad.
no, Olympic Games. Yeah, they were there. Okay, so they do have a gold medal with them. So yeah, again, just further cementing their case to be in the Hall of Fame. They have the gold medals. Um, yeah, I mean,
The stats also show that they were really
yeah,
good.
like I said, how could you not? Like these are two guys that like both 1,300 games played. Henrik's got 1,000 points with 800 assists.
Was
Holy,
Pavel Bure inducted into the Hall of Fame when he was eligible? Was he first inducted?
was he a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Yes,
Is that what you're asking? I don't know.
because I think
Why?
if he was, then I think Daniel Sedin and Henrik should be easily as well.
Well, yeah, again, I don't think anyone's doubting that Henrik or Daniel won't be in the Hall of Fame come this time next year. I think they're both getting the call.
Such a big
Same thing
face
with,
of of this franchise, and if they got Kevin Lowe in, I think they can. Yes, these guys didn't win a cup, but they mean so much to that organization.
hmm
That
But yeah, but that's the thing. Even not just the organization, they mean so much to hockey.
that's
Just like
right.
what they've done and the
The
stats they
world
put
of
up again.
hockey, the world of
Yeah,
we're talking
yeah,
not just
exactly.
NHL in America, but Sweden, and getting people who in Sweden who didn't know about NHL, getting them
hmm
invested because these two twins don't talk but score, and that's all they care about.
Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, I'm looking here too. They played both over 100 playoff games. They went to a final, unfortunately lost to Boston in
Yeah,
game 7. So, there was that. That was their chance. At least they got to play in a final. Not many players do get to play in a final. Like, I mean, keeping on the subject of Swedish players in the Hall of Fame who haven't won a Stanley Cup, Matt Sundin.
yep.
That's another one. And I think that's the thing too. Like nowadays, like the Stanley Cup isn't the be all end all for why a guy should get into the Hall of Fame.
There's so many good players that miss the target.
Exactly. Daryl Sittler's another one. I know I'm just using Leafs, but that's just because those are fresh in my mind.
Yeah. When's Pekka
But then
Rinne and
yeah,
Lundqvist
see,
available?
oh yeah, like Lundqvist, he will in 3 years when he's eligible, he
Okay.
will be a first ballot Hall of Famer, no
Okay.
doubt.
Does it take 3 years after retirement?
Yeah, you have to wait 3 years to become
I
eligible.
understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because that's why these guys they last played 18, 19, so now yeah they're finally eligible.
Do you think there's anyone other than anyone mentioned on this list that would be
Um,
legible or could possibly sneak in?
I mean maybe one of these old time players, like a guy like I don't know, like McGillney's been eligible since '09, but like I do, there is something. Hold on, I just need to pull up
They have
some
to bring in
stats here.
one player that hasn't been inducted yet. Who's been
Yeah, it
eligible. I
could
think
be.
it has to be someone. There's a lot of great names too. We can keep searching, but Sergei Gonchar, Daniel Alfredson,
Mhm.
um, Rob Brindamore, Curtis Joseph. He's as he said, Alex McGillney, Pierre Turgeon, Boris McCallov. I'm not even gonna try to say it. He's 77 years old, so the guy should go in. Just throw him in. Give him a cookie, guys. Come on.
Yeah, that one I was reading about that. I mean, he's got 3 Olympic gold medals. Like I've never heard of this guy before, but 3 Olympic golds and 1 silver for the Soviet Union. He's already in the International Ice Hockey Hall of Fame as of 2000. So, he's a great international player, great for the Soviets. I remember last time around with the Hall of Fame induction, which would have been 2 years ago.
Okay.
There was a guy who basically like didn't really play much in the NHL, but had a very good career for the Soviet international team, and he got in. So, maybe that's a guy that he gets in just because it's been so long. He's 77, like you said. It would be a nice story just to see him go in.
Yeah.
And again, he has 3 Olympic golds, so you can't argue that. Or
There's a,
two, sorry, my bad. 72, 76, which back to back is very good, and then a silver at the following Olympics. So yeah, clearly he was doing something right.
a good goalie for sure. Or sorry, he was a right winger. Why did I say
Yeah,
goalie?
but it's okay. But yeah, anyways, Brindamore, I do think he believes. I truly believe he should get in.
Okay.
1,400 games, 1,100 points. He has a Stanley Cup as well with Carolina in '06.
Yeah.
He's even now, like, I mean, his coaching career, he's already won a Jack Adams. I know that has nothing to do with his playing career. And then he's also won 2 Selke trophies for the best defensive forward in '06 and '07. So yeah, I think his call is definitely right around the corner. Alfredson's another guy. I think he should get in.
I think
Gonchar, I'd love to see get into.
Rob Brindamore, yeah, he's the number one pick. I agree with
Yeah.
you. I think McGillney would be second, and then Alfredson right
See,
after.
yeah, McGillney. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking, like, I mean, I'm looking in this article here. It's comparing him to Korea, which I guess, yeah, Korea. I know Korea's like Paul Korea. His what am I trying to say? Yeah, okay, so they both were similar. Both their careers were cut short due to injuries. Like McGillney, I'm looking at him here. He never played an 82 game season ever.
Damn,
The most he played was 79.
it's very sad. Oh,
Yeah. So okay, I didn't know that. So then, yeah, comparing him to Paul Correa is right. He would have probably had more more points and goals and everything if he had stayed healthy. Um so yeah, you know what? Yeah, that is true. I could see him getting in too. But usually that's the thing. They usually elect, I don't know, like six, like kind of like what they did this year, like 6 people, 5 players in one builder is usually the amount
they
they.
might group Hank and Daniel together. Could do that.
What, you're just gonna turn him into one person? That's what I
Okay.
mean.
They're gonna make a headline where it's gonna be them two, and then another 5 other people.
Okay, I mean,
5.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like that. And if okay, if we're doing it that way, then okay, how about we do our picks?
Okay. Let's do this
Who
quick.
do
Let's do
based
this
off this
quickly.
list? Yeah. So I'm
Uh,
gonna go with Henrik and Daniel.
sorry.
I want Luongo as well. I want Zetterberg.
Yeah.
For the women that are here, I'd say maybe Oulette or
Okay.
Dugan. I don't know.
Megan Dugan.
Uh,
I'm not.
I remember Caroline Ouellette because she's Canadian, so I know a lot about her.
I'm very sorry. It's Wallet. First of all.
Well, sorry, you're right. You are right.
But
I
I'm
knew
not
that.
very well versed in the female side of hockey. So I feel very bad just saying, yeah, this is who I think female wise. I'm sure
Hmm.
female there should be at least half male, half female. Maybe 2 females and 4 guys picked. So I wouldn't
I
really
mean,
mind having both of those girls picked and then having
yeah. I mean, it
Hank.
could be both of them.
It's a lot of Swedes maybe this one too. You know,
Yeah.
Henrik and
Oh yeah.
Daniel and Hank, Henrik Sedin. There's a lot of Hanks here. Jesus,
Two Hanks.
too many
You got
Hanks.
Daniel Alfredson. He's Swedish as well.
You might as well make it a Swedish thing. Just get or
Yeah.
everyone overseas. Bring in the Russian guy too.
It's
Uh,
like I can't remember what year it was, but there was one year where there was like 4 guys who used to play for the Leafs that all went in together, and it was just like,
wow.
like they have like the Hall of Fame game in Toronto, so like just seeing them all on the ice for the ceremony, like obviously the building was going nuts
Of
for them.
course, yeah. A very memorable moment. I'm sure that was. So
Hmm.
that's it for the Hockey Hall of Fame. I think.
Yes.
What's our next subject? Have a look to see
It's
at
the
this.
Canucks.
Ooh, the Canucks, and let's go through it pretty quickly because it's something that people are talking about a lot around the league, and we sort of touched on it last episode.
Yep.
Swiftly going from Hank and Daniel to the Vancouver Canucks. Yeah, they're doing poorly. Um,
That's an
again,
understatement.
yeah, it's just not meshing well. Not meshing well right now.
No, and man, it's so surprising. I mean, I'm pretty sure like Demko, he's been playing well, hasn't he? Like, I think his
Uh,
numbers look nice.
Gotta get updated here, Steven. I know that they've lost many games in a row that were over the
Oh,
five
never mind.
goals.
Okay, then yeah, Demko, never mind. His stats have kind of dropped off. Okay, yeah, neither of their goalie stats look good.
No wins for Halak
Uh,
yet in 5 games. JT
why is
Miller has
Patterson?
18 points in 16 games.
Pedersen and Besser, 9 points and 8 points, minus twos for both of them
That's not terrible, man. That's not. It should
in
be better.
16 games.
JT Miller and Elias Pettersson should switch their point, like what they have. Should switch that right now.
Yes, I agree. I mean, and also like I'm just thinking too, like when you look at like how much these guys are getting paid, like I mean Pedersen is getting 7.3 and he only has 9 points in 16 games. Brock Besser, he's an RFA at the end of this year with arbitration eligibility, and this is what he's doing in a contract year. Like,
Not good. Not good
I
for him.
don't know. I don't know. I mean, Ekman Larson, I mean, sure, the points aren't there for him, but he's at least a +2. He seems to be playing well. Like, I don't mind that from him.
They're saying that they're not going to do any management changes, and currently no on ice changes either. They're gonna be patient. They said.
I don't mind that from them.
Okay. Okay.
I don't because, like, you look at the players they have a good team on paper.
Right.
And I think it's just a matter of them figuring it out. Kind of like the Leafs. Like, they got off to a slow start. Did they trade people or do you think no, they just put Matthews with Nylander, they put Tavares with Marner again, and yeah, just kind of changed the D pairings a bit here and there, gave everyone a shake up. And maybe that's what Vancouver has to do, just shake up the lines a bit, get people playing with different people, thinking differently, and then maybe the results will start going their way.
Well, it also depends the goaltending here because we're seeing a lot of not good numbers out of Vancouver in the goaltending department. If they don't have stability in net, it doesn't matter what you do offensively or defensively, you're going to lose most games because
That is
you can't
true.
have switch cheese in net. It's just not going to work. And the plus minuses are telling us that it's a pretty well balanced team with a bit
Hmm.
of maybe I don't know if it's the defensive part because the defensemen are doing arguably the best. I mean, Lamenko is pretty bad right now, and Brad Hunt as well. Madison Voey's, but the other half is doing good. So
Yeah,
it
I
could
know.
it could be, and it probably is a lack of depth, of proper depth, because they sort of quickly stitched this together during the off season, threw Oliver Ekman Larson in there for extra support, hoping that he could bring out even more offense, but he seems to have traded that offense with defensive prowessness instead.
But I
Or
think that's okay
yeah,
because
of
you have
course.
Quinn Hughes. You got Quinn Hughes on the back end
Yeah.
who's your offensive defenseman. You don't really need another guy. I think
He doesn't want
Ekman
the limelight.
Larson.
He doesn't want
Yeah,
he doesn't
exactly.
want the spotlight.
Exactly. Yeah. Although, I mean, you say he doesn't want the spotlight, but here he is in a Canadian market with pretty, like, big media influence on there, the fan base. I
I look
mean,
at it like Morgan Riley. If we're being
okay.
honest,
Yeah.
in this market, you got Pedersen, Hughes, JT Miller, and then he would be the fourth guy. And if you look at Toronto, you have Nylander, Tavares, Marner, Matthews. That's not in order, but then you have Riley after.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
as the fifth. Yeah, you're right.
but Brock Besser, I forgot to add that in for Vancouver.
Hmm.
Unless if I didn't. Anyways, that being said, I think he's the second guy, the second defenseman they're looking at, maybe third. Tyler Myers, I don't really see him on this, but Luke Shen's doing all right. Or is
Yeah,
he
I
Tyler
mean,
Myers?
hey,
Yeah, he's doing all right too. They're doing fine.
Shen is injured right now, though,
Okay,
unfortunately. And
I
then
see.
they also have, oh no, those guys are all LTIR. Michael Furlan, Brandon Sutter, Brady Keeper, and Matthew Highmore.
So you think they're gonna keep this going?
Yeah, I think again, no, don't hit the panic button now. Yeah, sure, things aren't looking great at the moment.
But do you
You're
think the
5-9
record
two.
they're gonna get better? You believe that?
You would think. I mean, do
Playoff
I believe it?
potential?
Ooh, they gotta start changing things now because they're 2-7-1 in the last 10. So they gotta show what they can do now. I know it's basically just about the rest of this month and next month. If in January they're still, at a sub four or around 400 point percentage, then yeah, maybe you start thinking this isn't our year. Who do we look to sell off? And What do we look to bring in to help us in the future?
It's funny because they thought that similar to Ottawa, they could just flip it around quickly and get right back into it. But now they might be rebuilding too.
Yeah, well, dude, I think a lot of people thought that when you looked at them, you're like, wow, look at all these young players they have. Like, they have such a good core, and Bo Horvat's such a good captain, all this, and like, I agree with it. And dude, they added like along that OEL trade, like for Ekman Larson, they added Connor Garland as well, who's lighting it up for them.
Yeah,
So it's almost like, yeah, how could this go so wrong? But it's because just the stars that are there that they thought they could heavily rely upon aren't showing up yet. But again, there's still lots of time left in the season for them to show up.
yeah, they're young. I mean, you
Hmm.
look at Nick Suzuki; he's doing great. It's the opposite situation where he's doing well and the team is just crapping behind him.
Yeah.
Um, in this case, Pedersen's not doing great, Besser's not doing great, and the team's not doing great. So it's just not a good combination. Maybe once they start turning that around, the differential will be a little different. You have a minus 14 differential, worst in the Pacific at the moment. And
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure that their power play and their penalty kill is one of the lowest in the NHL as well.
Yeah, it doesn't look pretty, that's for sure.
No. So hopefully they could turn it around because they were projected to do well in this week, which we thought was weak Pacific Division.
Hmm.
They've been turning a lot of heads recently. So go you Pacific. You go Pacific.
Yeah, and just stay calm, Vancouver. For once, please. Don't riot.
That's right. Don't pull off some crazy stunts. Another team struggling, the New York Islanders. Um,
Yes.
but they're very interesting. The whole division is very interesting, more clear than it was last week
Hmm.
because they've been able to play a bit more games, 3 or 4 more games, and now it seems as things have settled, and you're starting to see the guys who are potentially at the bottom.
Hmm. Yeah, although, yeah, I mean, it is because yeah, you're right. We're now at like the 14, 15 game mark for this division. And yeah, you're right. Like the Rangers are still up there. The Devils are still up there. Like I'm still looking. Every team is at or above 500. But the only difference though with the Islanders compared to everyone else is that they've yet to play a home game. They've
Uh,
done
oh yeah,
this
really?
entire schedule on the road. Yes,
Whoa,
I think their arena like is going to be ready this Saturday. They
wow,
got Calgary on Saturday night and then the Leafs on Sunday night.
busy, Jesus.
So, yeah, that's the thing. Like they have one more road game, which is tonight against Florida, and then they finally have their home opener, which is going to be their following game. So they would have played 13 away games before they would have played any one of their 41 home games.
Wow,
So they have a home heavy schedule coming up, which is really where I think like
it's
if
make it
they
or
can start
break it.
winning, yeah, like if they can start winning in that building, and like New York is a very strong home team. Like it's hard to win in their building because it's always so loud. They just they turn up for it. Like it always feels like a playoff atmosphere
Yep.
when the Islanders are at home. So I mean, I they can easily get like 30 home wins if they really want to, and then their season will look okay. So yes, they're struggling right now, but I'd give them a pass just because they haven't played a home game yet.
I mean, home game or away game, it should be just play the game of
No,
hockey.
you're right.
It
They're
is,
professionals, right? They
yeah,
they
the
should be
outside knows. You
trained.
should be able to put the outside noise outside and in the game, focus
Yeah.
on the game. You're looking at their stats. Their goaltending is what's keeping them in. And then the rest of the
Oh yeah.
team's pretty flat. Brock Nelson leading the team with 9 points in 12 games, and Matthew Barzell with 8 points in 12 games. Very
Yeah.
similar to what Elias Pettersson is going through in Vancouver. Hopefully, Barzell is not going through, tough times. Zach Parise, 3 points in 12 games. Of course, he's not there to be top six guy, but he's starting to look
Still,
a
you
lot.
expect
Looks
a
like Bobby Ryan.
yeah. Like yeah, you do expect more of these guys, especially since the fact that they've been to the last two conference finals. Like I feel like the expectation for them has gone up a lot. Like it's almost like really for them, like what's the next step, right? It's a cup. Like the only way to go farther than conference finals is to go to the cup and then win it.
That's right. And this year is looking pretty bland. Um,
As of now.
as of now, you're right. And the Islanders, if any team could do it, it's them. They can switch it
Hmm.
on in a heartbeat. They have good goaltending depth. They know how to get their goaltenders to play well. Sorokin is a great example. Varlamov's not putting up
Hmm.
the numbers as advertised, but it just will take some time, maybe. And I don't know. There are some concerns about it. If I were an Islanders fan, I would look at it and say, is this it? Is this where we're relegated to? Because it's such a strong division. The Philadelphia Flyers, they have not stopped. The Columbus Blue Jackets
Hmm.
neither. Pittsburgh Penguins are getting healthier. So Crosby just got back and still they can't win it. So
Hmm.
I know eventually that's going to take back, right? We know that Crosby will be able to get Pittsburgh back on track, maybe push some other teams down. Maybe they're going to be buried. I feel like Islanders will get buried under this
Yeah, I
stack.
mean, yeah, if they don't act quickly, then yeah, they will be buried and they'll be forgotten about. And sooner or later, who knows what kind of assets they'll be selling off coming up to the trade deadline, right? Like,
I feel like they don't have
but
very many. They don't have enough to do. Like they have good
no,
assets, but
no,
nothing that can get you a first, other than Barzell or Nelson,
but you're not
maybe.
trading Barzal, right?
No.
Like that's the thing. I don't know. I mean, again, I'm just kind of looking at them like, yeah, they lost three in a row in regulation. So before those three games, they were 5-2-2 and looking a lot better.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, it could just be fatigue from playing on the road and always like not having that home cooking, so to say, that
Mm-hmm.
players are used to. So again, I'm not worried about it yet for them. Uh, yeah, just wait till their home schedule begins, and because who knows, man, these first four games that they have at home, Saturday, Sunday, and then next Wednesday and next Friday, they could win them all, and they're also 9-5 and or whatever. I mean, they have
Yeah.
tonight's game too, but I mean, they
They
win
have
all five
games
of
in
those, and
hand
they're 10.
too. They have games in
Oh yeah,
hand.
that's what I mean, man. They win five in a row starting tonight. They're now 10-5-2, and they look like they're back in it, and they're
You're right.
they're the Islanders again.
Very competitive division. Um,
Yeah.
just had to look at them, and at the end of their homestand, we can go back and talk about them. Unless they have some other pressing news. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's it for the Islanders. Now to talk
Yeah.
about the Penguins. You actually broke it out to me. They're on the verge of being sold to Fenway Sports Group. Tell me a little bit about Fenway Sports Group, Steven.
Yeah, so the most I know about them is that so they're led by billionaire John Henry, who owns the MLB's Boston Red Sox
Yeah.
and the English football team Liverpool FC. So I find it very interesting that a Boston sports owner is trying to buy a Pittsburgh team. Now, yes, he does own a team in England, but that's also on a different continent. This is in the same country on the same coast, like they're both Eastern teams, and it's just weird to think that
It's
a
just a different
Boston
sport.
owner,
That's it. It's just like, don't look at it. Don't
yeah,
look at it.
but like it's just weird that they're called Fenway, and Fenway is where the Boston Red Sox play, and like just
Yes.
every time it's just so weird to think that a Boston related thing is gonna buy a Pittsburgh team, and I don't know, I feel like maybe I should get some opinions from my friends who are Penguins fans and see how they feel about this, if they even feel anything. One of like, I have a feeling one of my friends is just gonna be like, I don't care. I just watch the
Right.
hockey,
Who
right?
cares who owns the. Maybe if he. I don't know why he would want to poison his own pond, Like, he's like, oh, I'll help you, Cam Neely in Boston, make your team better. And then, is it Cam Neely? Yeah. I think he's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay. I'll help you out and make sure your team is the ultimate team. And here in Pittsburgh, yeah, we'll trade you Crosby for a fourth, maybe, in a bag of pucks. How about that?
Yeah, then we know there's some
Collusion,
shithousery going on.
that too. Um, I don't know. I don't have any big opinions. I agree to an extent that it's a little weird that
Yeah,
someone
that's
Fenway, it's not Pittsburgh, doesn't ring Pittsburgh. But
Yeah,
I
that's
think
honestly.
they
Yeah,
feel they
sorry.
feel they feel cool enough because they own the Liverpool team in England that they
Mm.
could, yeah, well, just Pittsburgh, who cares?
Yeah, right. But like that's the thing. Like I'm reading here too. I didn't see this mill now. It does say Lemieux would remain as a minority owner if the deal went through.
Okay.
So maybe he would be there still to be like I don't know, maybe he would well, I guess Burke is there as the president of hockey operations and then so he would probably stay there just to keep that relationship between the ownership group and the hockey side.
Well,
So
he's
it's not
been
like
there
they're
for so
losing much. It's
long,
yeah, well since
so
'99 he's been part owner of the team.
that's right. He single-handedly saved this
Yep.
organization.
Well, him and another guy, Ron Burkle, it says
Okay.
here,
Okay.
they both invested in the team and yeah, saved him from bankruptcy in '99.
And I think, I mean, Mario Lemieux's, his skills, his assets that he brought to the table. I think, of course, I'm sure he was the primary reason they came up, and he
Hmm.
played also during this time that he was the owner.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, he
he
did.
played. It was hilarious. But yeah, that's it. The Penguins were.
And oh, sorry, I just
That's it.
want to add
Go
on.
ahead.
He also, when he was playing as owner, he was also a Hall of Famer at that point.
He just didn't give a shit. He did
Because
not care.
he came out of retirement and was like, "Oh, I want to play again."
Is
And then they
Yager in
got
the Hall of
Crosby.
Fame? Is he yet in the Hall of
He
Fame?
hasn't retired yet. He's
How is yeah?
he's still playing.
He should retire,
He's still
man.
playing in Czech Republic, man. That guy isn't going to be eligible for like another 10 years because he won't retire for another 7.
That guy is a legend, a true legend. I hope
He-
he comes back to the NHL.
I don't think he will, but
It's
it would be nice. It would be a nice story, but yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
yeah, you might be right. He also has personal problems, not problems, but commitments. So
Yes, yeah, I was going to
to the
say problems is
Kladno,
not the
I
correct
think he's like
word
a
there.
part owner of the Kladno club, the club that
I
he's playing
honestly,
for.
yeah, that's right. I do remember hearing that
He said
he
if
was
his team
investing.
because I think it's Kladno his team he's playing for as well.
Yes.
He
Yes.
said he would retire, but his team's not good enough.
Yeah, it's they're not good, and I think like they need funding,
That's
and that's
right.
the thing. Like they need, especially
He
through
drives
COVID. I
tickets. He
think,
drives
yeah,
tickets.
and he recognizes that, and it just makes him that much more of a legend, though, does it not? Like,
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
oh my God, the amount of respect I have for this guy, the fact that he wants to keep his hometown team where it is, he's willing to do anything for them,
They
and that includes play for them.
he's the legend. He's the biggest legend out there. I
He
can't
really
wait for him
is.
to retire or not. Just do you
I
do
mean,
you,
it's
man.
gonna be sad when he finally retires, but you're right. It's gonna be nice to see him get the call for the Hall of Fame and go through all of that stuff as a player like him should. I mean, he's what third and he's up there. Oh my God, he's like oh my God, what is this? Is embarrassing. I don't know
What?
where he is on the all-time list.
I don't know either.
I want
You're
to say he's like all
I'm
he's like
trying to look
second
here.
in goals, third in points, something like that.
I do not know, but he has so many accolades, man. This guy's as soon as he touches that thing, this guy's fountain of youth, man. This guy
Okay, so
is fire.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, it was the opposite of what I said. He's second in points, third in goals.
Wow.
1,900 points, 766 goals.
And this guy played with Mario Lemieux. How unfair is that?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
very
that's what I
unfair.
mean. Like he left in the middle of his career to go to the KHL and then come back to the NHL and still played pretty well.
Like a legend, like a Neil Kovalchuk, except successful.
Yeah, exactly. Like this guy, yeah, I'm just reminiscing, going through all of his stats right now, and it's just making me remember and making me wish he would have stayed. But I mean, man, he's 49 now and still playing. Good for him. 13
Christ,
points in 19 games this year for his hometown, Kladno.
good for him. Good for him.
And a +5, man. He's not a minus player.
That's what matters, right? Not a minus player.
Yeah.
Are you ready to finish off this episode?
I actually have one thing that I just kind of thought of that I wanted to bring up quickly before we went on to the final news that we
Yeah, we just
want to
got a
bring
little
up.
quick fire stuff. Sure, go ahead,
Yeah.
Steven.
Um, it was actually the other day I saw this, and I just remembered it now.
Okay.
So Connor McDavid got his 600th career point the other night. I don't know if you
Yes.
saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? So I saw this post on Instagram that just caught my attention and made me realize how good McDavid is and how much better he's still getting.
Okay.
So it shows here his progression to 600 points through every 100 points and how many games it took him to reach that next 100-point milestone.
Yep.
So, 0 to 100 took him 92 games. Now, mind you, he did have that
Injury.
injury, yeah,
First
the
year.
collarbone injury in his rookie year.
Yep.
Which, could have maybe sped things up for him, but still, 92 games, 100 points, ridiculous for a guy in the league, right?
Yep.
Then to get from 100 to 200 took him 82 games. So that's basically just one NHL season to get 100 points. That makes sense, actually. He did put up exactly 100 points in the season.
Okay.
200 to 300 was 68 games.
Oh my.
300 to 400, 67 games. 4 to 500, 64 games. And now 500 to 600, 53 games. This guy, and I saw another post that was yesterday. It showed that in his last 82 games, so in a full regular season, just the last 82 games, like the first whatever this year, all 56 last year, and then whatever remaining from the season before, he has 150 points in those 82 games. Just take that in for a second.
He's insane. This guy, of course, Hall of Fame material right away.
Oh, I mean, everyone knows that. There's no doubt about it. But, the fact that, going into the season, I don't know if I said it to you, but I was saying it to other people for sure, that I had a feeling that, he just looking at his stats from last year, the fact that he put up 156 games, and I did, the projection, I calculated what would be projected in an 82-game season, and it was 153 points. So kind of looking off that, I was like, I think he's going to put up 150 this year. And then now that I saw this chart that shows all that, and then the other one that shows in his last 82 games he has 150 points, and seeing that he's on pace for 158 this year as of now, I think it just more than confirms he will get 150 points this year, and it's insane.
I think it's more than confirmed that he's going to get 200 in a year. I think it's more
he will one day. Whether he does it this, I mean, to do it this year, he's going to have a lot of 5-point games, but that's very possible. How many multi-point games does that guy have a season? You know what I mean? And not only just 2-point games, he has multiple 3-point games, multiple 4-point games. He even sprinkles in some 5, maybe a 6-point game he can get.
How many hat tricks does he have? 5 now? 6?
Oh God! I actually don't know. I do want to check though. But yeah, I mean, David career hat tricks.
I think we talk about Connor McDavid every episode. We only made 2, but can't stop talking about him.
He has 10. He has 10 hat tricks.
Oh my!
He has 10. This guy actually has 10 hat tricks.
30 goals and hat tricks, man. That's a collection right there.
In his career. This isn't his career, but yeah, 3 out of his 10 career hat tricks have come against Calgary as well. Oof.
For Calgary.
Yeah, Calgary. He's played Calgary 31 times. During those games, he has an accumulated 26 goals.
Oh!
He's almost a goal per game against Calgary.
He just knows how to light their net up. My God.
Oh, man.
26 goals. For them.
But yeah, just that McDavid thing just blew my mind. I just had to bring it up on today's show.
We can have a show just on Connor McDavid.
Oh, yeah, we can.
Easily just talk about him 24/7. Episode a day, 38 minutes, easily. New, fresh info for you. The last little bit of info for today. Adam Brooks was placed on waivers with the Montreal Canadiens. Wasn't really used at all in Montreal. I knew that was going to happen. Well, I'm not very shocked. Will he go back to Toronto? I think Toronto is first on the bat to pick him up.
No.
Yes.
We're not.
Yes.
Well, okay. The way waivers works, it's reverse standings is priority. So if any team below the Leafs
if the
wants to claim
Leafs
him,
lost him,
they did.
because
And they didn't want to lose him. You're right.
so they lost him. But because that player is put back onto waiver assignment or whatever, I
Hmm.
think Toronto gets first pick for that player, for
No,
their
no,
player.
that
I
doesn't work
swear I
that way.
heard something about that. They're,
As far as I'm concerned, no. I mean, I
I,
can double check right now.
pretty sure I heard somewhere from someone of like good standing in the community who said something like that. The Leafs,
Mm,
like what if you put a player on waiver and he gets claimed, and the same year they put that same player on waivers, they
you
could
get first dibs.
you get first dibs.
Okay, I mean, I can't find anything here, but this also what I'm looking at on Cap Friendly. It's talking about the age and how many games you have to play to be waiver eligible.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, hey, that could actually be. I've if it is that's actually very interesting. I find that cool. I do actually like that rule. Um,
With
I
Amadio
do.
gone,
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He was claimed off waivers too.
he was the reason why Adam Brooks is put on waivers, because they picked him over Brooks.
That is true. But also now, I mean, McCabe's still injured, and I think he's close, maybe like a few weeks away to coming back. So like if he can regain his spot in the lineup, that means someone's got to go then.
Yeah.
They just got Kyle Clifford again today. He's a non-roster player though. I'm looking now.
Yeah,
He's
Kyle Clifford, before he continues, placed on waivers yesterday, and
mhm.
then today was acquired in a trade for future considerations.
Yeah, but sad to see future considerations go. He was gonna have a big season, at least 50 goals,
At least, yeah,
90 points for sure, a lock. I
in
mean,
every year, guaranteed.
yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna miss future considerations. Thank you for all you've done. Thank you for your contribution to this club. You will be missed.
I think if you had future considerations still, you would have probably made the second round
Oh,
last year.
we would have won 4 series last year. What do you mean?
To win the cup, damn it.
Exactly. Tampa, get out of our way.
Kyle
Future
Clifford
considerations, man.
on Toronto. What does that mean to you as a Leaf fan?
It means more people are gonna get their faces punched on other teams.
You think he's gonna play on the fourth line with Wayne Simmons?
Oh no, he won't play
Or
with Wayne Simmons. He'll probably play when Simmons isn't in the lineup.
has
Because Simmons,
I swear Kyle Clifford's been on the Leafs before, right?
yes, he has.
Yeah,
They traded for him.
from
They
LA,
got him in the
right?
Jack. They got him in the Jack Campbell
That's
deal.
right. There you go.
Yep.
Okay, I
Right
remember
before
that.
COVID hit, because he played in the bubble. On the fourth line.
Okay.
He was he was Kyle Clifford. He's what you expect. He was good at hitting guys.
Yeah.
He didn't get a lot of shifts. I mean, I wouldn't want to see him as an everyday player or yeah, like especially in the playoffs. I don't want him to be an everyday guy. I think he knows what he is now. He's just
He's a
this
circumstantial player. If they're
yeah,
playing against New York or going against Tom Wilson in Washington, you
yeah,
throw in that
you put
grit.
him exactly. You got to protect your guys the same way those teams have those guys to protect their guys, right?
Maybe the reason why Toronto went to pick him up is because he was waiver. Like no one wanted him from the
Yeah,
waivers,
obviously they saw he was available and then they're like, "Oh,
so
well,
they're hoping maybe that they can use him to just send down to the AHL and back if they needed to do so. They feel
yeah,
like maybe he won't get claimed on the wire.
like I could see them doing like maybe some caps shenanigans with him where like they call him up and then send him down to like save cap space or maybe even hey, maybe the Marlies need a goon. They need a guy to stand up for because the Marlies have a lot of young guys on the team that they're trying to develop like Nicholas Robertson, Semyon Dragoshintsev,
Well,
like
he's
they have
injured. Robinson is injured.
oh again?
Well, that's why
Oh my
he's in the AHL, and then he was sent to the AHL. I think conditional
oh
stints
yeah,
and
he's
whatnot.
right. He's only played 2 games.
Yeah, So he's not even like actually an active player yet.
Yeah, but still, you know what I mean? Like they still have young guys on that team, so yeah, maybe they wanted
But
to bring in a
with this
goon just to fight.
organization, I don't. This organization is more focused on now than it is for the future.
It is,
Robertson is
but
the only forward piece that they have, in my opinion. That
he's the brightest, that's for
yes,
sure. I
he's the
mean, there's also
brightest.
Rodion Amirov.
Are we talking
Who
about top six guys? Or are we talking about top nine forwards now here? You know, like
I'm just talking about the future of the
prospects.
Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm just talking about the future of the Maple Leafs, that's all.
Littlegren, and Sandin were the top prospects for the Leafs. Now they're
They're here.
the up and coming guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
the guys that are hopefully to take places of Muzzin in the future and
Yeah, no,
whatnot.
I do get what you're saying though. What you're bringing up, like, yes,
I think
the
Kyle
future,
Clifford is
like,
for the NHL. I don't think he's going to the AHL. I think he's
I
there
mean,
to help.
he's currently a non-roster player though, and again, I'm looking at their roster. Like, they have 13 forwards, 7 defensemen, 2 goalies. I mean, one goalie is up because Mrazek's injured, but then when McCabe comes back, they'll have 14 forwards, 7 defensemen, 2 goalies. That's a full roster.
I
That's
don't know.
23 players.
Yeah, that'll. I guess that's why we're not in that seat. We're just
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think they did bring him in though because, obviously you will get injuries, and if another guy does get hurt, right now, who are they going to turn to?
yeah, yeah.
Like you have, I mean, if a guy gets hurt right now, you do have Kirill Semyonov who can come into the lineup and play. He played actually Saturday because Simmons wasn't in the lineup on Saturday. I
Okay.
guess back-to-back nights, just a maintenance day.
Yeah, why not?
Um, but yeah, no, if another injury happens, guess what? You got Clifford who can now come into the lineup. He's played in the NHL. You don't have to rely on like a 21, 22-year-old guy who's never played and is going to make his debut.
Imagine the Montreal Canadiens. They saw that the Leafs acquired Kyle Clifford. And they're like, all right, let's put Adam Brooks up now. I think it's a good time. They wanted them.
Right? Yeah,
They
I
made
mean,
them pay for
Bergevin.
depth, and then they're like, yeah, let's put him up.
Yeah, Bergevin could have done that. It wouldn't surprise me. That's a very Bergevin thing to do. It also wouldn't surprise me to see another team claim Adam Brooks tomorrow
Well, yeah,
at
I
this
think he's going
time.
to be a valuable target for other teams. Montreal picked him up. I'm sure other teams will. He didn't really get to shine in Montreal. He
Hmm.
needs to be given more ice time. Seattle Kraken might be a team that probably would look at him, or even like Pittsburgh Penguins, although they're picking up some guys from the injury reserve. So we'll have to see for next week episode. Maybe we'll talk about it. Maybe it's
Hmm.
not. Who knows? But anyways, that's it for this episode. Shorter than last week's. So hope you guys enjoyed that. You better.
We're forcing you to like these now.
Forced in your throat. So leave a like, subscribe. There will be the clips uploaded later, and let us know how we did.
Yeah,
Yeah, something like
sounds
that.
good.
All right, guys. See ya.
See ya.